guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I was thinking of doing like a really kind of an improvised video, just kind of a talking video about the month we are entering, which is the June, and it's kind of the Pride month. And I have some thoughts that are like going on, and I just I also want to know like what the people that follow me think about all of this stuff and how they like process all of this, because today in this day and age it is kind of different than it was like a couple of years ago. For it, I mean, I personally, I've never attended a Pride event, but even though I've never been there, I wouldn't say that it's something that should be banned or should not be allowed to do. It's still like it has always been like that. People are always like, they don't have to parade, they don't have to like make a scene out of it, anything. But I always thought that it should be, if somebody wants to celebrate who they are and what they are, it should be allowed, even though it's kind of a question of sexuality. So it's like, that sexuality is just like, it was never about being like publicly like proclaimed, even though like, yes, on the other hand, it is true that straight people don't have their own event, even though they have a lot of other events which just happen to be for them, and they just kind of celebrate all of these events, which are kind of like, sexuality doesn't have, and especially LGBTQ community doesn't have a lot to do with those events. So this is like, I don't know. I saw a video today, and it was about this like street interviewers, and I really hate I hate when I see videos with street interviews, but they always come across on my feeds, and they are about the pride, and do people like support it and something like that, which is for me, I don't understand why do they ask random people on the street if they support it. Like, who are these people? If you put up like names and like all that, maybe that would be like somewhat important. But if it's just whatever kind of a person giving an opinion, like that person could be a really big problem in school, and like have like really bad grades, and like barely pass, or maybe repeat couple of classes, and they will be asked on the interview, like on the street, and they will be like, no, I don't support it. And it would seem like it was something that he said that he like makes some kind of sense. I mean, I'm not getting upset about it. I don't really like just everybody, it is that everybody can have an opinion and should have an opinion and should like express themselves and all that. But when it's just expressing without any kind of like thinking about that, or like having any kind of like realistic logical arguments about that, it's just like not really a valid opinion. So what I think is that it should be celebrated. People should celebrate who they are. Even though I have never personally been on a pride event, maybe I will go this year, because I was like really busy, and it's not an excuse. I was like really busy. I was constantly in some kind of crossings in my life, and just like a lot of tasks, and or I was on the summer season doing like work to earn for like my college, and it was just like really before, when I think about my life before, I just think about this constant expenditure of like energy and time, and just like a lot of, I did a lot, yes, but also, and I experienced a lot, but then still, like, I missed out on some things. And now, there's also two sides to each kind of coin. And when we think about pride, there's like lots of these arguments where people are saying that it's heavily sexualized, and you cannot really avoid those claims. It is, yes, you can, say, yes, people that are nude in public spaces or are performing sexual acts in public spaces should be prosecuted, but we know that it can affect, the children, which is, like if you want to bring something in the light of day, you need to think about all the kinds of people that will be seeing it. And I don't mean that it's something shameful or something, wrong for people to see. It's just like, do people really need to see it? And if what they wanted to, there's like a lot of sources online where you can see, sexual acts or any kind of sexual performances or like, nudity or anything like that. There are nude festivals all around the world, but Pride is not a nude festival. It is a festival which celebrates that aspect of tolerance, of freedom, of being proud of who you are, of celebrating human rights, which is like, I think, the core essence of Pride. I know that there's like a lot of definitions and a lot of people take what they want from it or like want to, think that this is like a time for now for to put up a scene or something. But I think, Pride should be an event where people come up and show the society that this is who we are. I think, showing that in that way where people parade around with, like dildos or like, in jock straps and this and that. I don't think, and I don't think I'm being like homophobic right now, but I don't think like, that should be the case for such an event. I think you should dress appropriately and decently. Yes, you can put on something that's, kind of like for show, but it's just not, you shouldn't be nude or partially nude at these kinds of event. You're like putting the bad image for us, for people that are in that community. And I don't think it's right. I don't think, like, don't be, that kind of a person if you are going to like these events and such. I've heard like stories about people that were on these events, what they experience, everything, it's just there's all kinds of people. Also, all straight people are not, perfect. They're not. I get that. But still, you should think about, you're representing this community, this oppressed community, this minority. Let's think about that. It is a huge minority, and it is a like, if you would compare this, a lot of them, a lot of people in the community are not brave enough to even stand up for themselves and to fight back and try and this and that. And yes, they tend to have like these tactics or methods to just like, have a better way about this, but it's still like this kind of thing where we need to think about that I think every person is actually at the mercy of everybody else. It's not like we have some kind of privilege, right? Or should we have privilege, right? It's just that we have to be like on the same, right level, like as all the other people, which is what the people from the LGBT community fought for, and they successfully, kind of got those rights, even though what I always thought was that there was like some huge, fight that happened in like all over the world. I thought like there was like this huge fight that happened in all over the world, and that's how they got rights. But it's just, it's kind of like it kind of swept under, and it's just, I don't really like how politics got mixed into it, because politics makes everything so prismatic. It's just they kind of are slided that into like public sphere, and it's just like, a lot of people didn't accept that at all. People are still mad, and it's just, I don't think, even though it's good that we have rights and all that, it's just, I think people don't think that people that are like that, because there's like all kinds of like people in the LGBT community, and some people are like really bad and like really toxic and like really, really bad people. And I have a colleague which is like, I love gay people. They're so great. They're so, and I'm like, do you really love all gay people? It's just, I get that this like statement is supposed to be like anti-homophobic or something like that, but it's just, it's just, you should like really really think about that, because it's just like not all gay people are great. Some really do make problems, and some are not an example of how a person should be. And I don't mean about like, fetish or kinks or something like that. It's just like how of a person are you, because you can be all kinds of person. You can be kind, you can be bad, but you can also be like a horrible person, like a really toxic. And for yourself and for your whole family, I had, this uncle that was like really, really a bad person just because he was going over a breakup and he couldn't get it over it, and he was like constantly, saying he wants to die. He had like health problems because of it. Everybody else had to take care of it. I mean, I get it, you don't want to live, but it's just, don't make it everybody else's problem. Also, everybody else made it a problem for you because society really didn't accept you like who you are, and living the life that you wanted would be a problem just because of the people around you. I get that, but still, like, giving up and choosing to go this like way of where it would be easier to just die and just like give up, that is also not the way. It is totally like you should have some like, and I don't know if it's something about it, but it's just, I get that there's like really a lot of mental health issues going on in this like community, and people are not completely sure of who they are, what they want, what kind of a picture they have in the future. I think these thoughts are something that a person should really think about, and what they, really want, and like what kind of people they want to be with. And do they just want to rely on the sex? Is the sex really that important that you ignore all the rest? And chances of you having a family, and I'm not saying that everybody should have a family, but let's think about it. Like, if you are a good person, if you are an intelligent, smart, like a really really great person, and if you one day decide to have, a family, and you want to have kids, and you want to have somebody to teach those traits and like show them the way of the world, because I think I could like really show my children the right way to, experience the world, and also to have an upper hand in life, something that wasn't offered to me, for example, because my straight parents, like, they were like, so they didn't, and that's what I really don't like about this argument that, LGBT, like people from the LGBT community couldn't be good parents, is that straight people are like really really bad parents. Nobody takes the test to be a parent. Nobody knows how to be a parent. It is just like nobody. Some people like to read, like, or maybe watch a YouTube video about it. But like a lot of people don't really know how to be a parent and are not ready to accept this, this kind of end result that you get at the end. Because at the end, it could be like a person could be, and after 18, the person is allowed to be who they want to be, and a lot of people are not ready to be ready to accept that. So actually, this was this so what I really wanted to like cover as a ground topic of this like video was about not being that kind of a homosexual, which is, that kind of homosexual which is like, that he's gay, and that he's like, he likes guys and all that, but he's just trying to blend in and trying to be like cool with all the other, people. And he's like, we don't need that parade. I don't know why they do that. It's just so not necessary. And I don't know why the people do that and this and that. And it's just, so annoying, because of this parade and because of people fighting for their rights, you have your rights. And if that wasn't the case, I get that a lot of us could live in shadows, and we could totally, live these double lives and just continue to thrive, because we are men and we live in a patriarchal, patri, patriarchal, patriarchal world. And if you just continue with this route of a manly, route where you just like, kind of do what men do, just like live in the shadows and not live as your true expressional self, then, it is just, you could prosper either way, but you wouldn't live. I don't know. It's just like, I think a lot of people also do that. Like, they compartmentalize this, this life that they have. They like put like their life in small sections. They're like, just, I could be happy with that, but I'm not going to be happy with that, but there's like a positive from this, so I'm going to take this. But I'm constantly going to regret this. It doesn't matter, I don't think it will affect me. And then in 5 years they're going to like look back and they're like, oh my god, this was affecting me like really bad. And then they will regret it a lot, and they're gonna drink about it and like do drugs and all that. And it's just like it's so weird. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, and I don't, but I've seen so many people that are like stuck in this constant like cycles of like their own bad karma and their own bad like decisions and all that, which is like it's hard to get out of it, like but it's still like this time around. I just if you are one of my followers, or if you like watch my YouTube channel, I'm not saying that you have to participate or you have to go, to the Pride event or something like that. But maybe like, just like post something that has, some kind of, sign of support for them. It could be like a song, it could be like it could be like a poem, it could be like, some kind of a, picture or something. But just like, this time around, I think it's great, even if you're not really out. And if you're not, for example, I'm not like out and proud and all that, even though I wouldn't really like publicly state my, status about this and everything. But it's just, it's just this time around, I think it's really great to bring awareness about the people that are supporting, the LGBT community and everybody having their rights, which I think is the main consensus about this. It's not really about, some people having privilege rights, or some people having, some people acting special or something like that. It's just about everybody having their rights, and the fact that people from the LGBT community, their rights were often ignored. And yes, this way a lot of people that are in that, some people would say, and I'm not saying this to be like transphobic or something like that, but like some people would say that the gay and the bi and the the gay and the bi kind of spectrum would be like kind of a more normal kind of a spectrum of the LGBT community, and then the trans and the, but I think also those people need rights, and those people need to have their choices. The people that are parading it around and they're doing it for show, and they're doing it just just to annoy people and just to try, it's just, I don't really like that when people do that, when they go to competitions and just, have the, like, say that they're a woman just to, like, win a competition or something like that. I think those people really, like put into, like, a break room and just be like, yo, this is, like, not really necessary right now. This is, like, the world has bigger problems. You, like, took a really bad route. You just need to, like, be here and just, like, chill for a bit. It's not like a good place to be at. But this is like, what I think about this time period, where also, again, a call for community is always a good call. I think community needs to be stronger, especially since we are tearing each other apart. This is constantly like that. Our community is based on strangers that come and go, and they're just like, they can just devour it. It's just so weird, because like everybody can go on those apps and just like see everybody and just like be like, oh, he's doing that, and be like this and that. And I don't think it's like that, right? I think you should, kind of, I think when I say like call for community, I think like, you could like kind of kind of monitor these kinds of things better, like who is entering the circles where those people are, are they really good, good intention, or are they just there to just satisfy their needs and go. It's just, I don't really like find anything like really, it's just some people that are using this community just for their sexuality, like also the trans people, and also like the the bottoms and all that. It's just like I don't think it's right, and there should be like people like getting aware about this and that. But anyways, I could go like on about this for a long time, but it's just, I just wanted to kind of talk about it because it's been going around in my mind for a lot, especially coming up in June. Last year, I actually experienced, this homophobic insult from my colleague, which I reported, and she had to apologize and everything else. But also, like, it's just not, I could have sued and everything, but I didn't, but I wish I did, and I don't know. It's just I've never thought that I would come across something like that, and I'm really glad that if I wanted to have that possibility to sue and to have to experience my rights and call out somebody for like a hate crime, I could have done that, and I really like those rights. I mean, I really couldn't care less what this person thought of me. I just don't, I don't care if somebody, I will insult you back. I don't care. I just really don't care about somebody that has something against me if I really did everything in my power to be a good person to them and be friendly and, helpful and this and that. If you just have something like deep inside of you which is wrong, that's on you, like that's not mine. So it's, I don't really care. I don't think it's right to insult people. I think that should be called out every time. And if you do that and if you go through all of that and it still doesn't work, you can go to the institutions and ask for help about this if it's really affecting your life. Back then, I don't think it was affecting my life that much. I think it was more about, this work environment where everybody was under so much pressure and they felt the need to, do that because, I don't know, it was just like this work environment wasn't really healthy. And where I am now, I'm just so blessed that I have this work environment where it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or it just matters what kind of a person you are. And if you do your job right, which is actually the only thing you should matter about, we should, think about when you're at work. But yes, anyways, so that was like my 2 cents about this. I get it. I'm not really that kind of an person to how, like, people really listen to my opinions or something like that. But it's, I still think my opinion matters, and I really think that the Pride events should happen and people should celebrate love, people should celebrate their sexuality, people should celebrate who they are and show that to the light of the day. But then on the other side, we should also think about these shadows that are going on, and it's just, that's what I think about. So if if you have another take on this, or you agree, or you just like, what kind of view do you have on this, you can leave it in the comments. I would really like to know, honestly, and it would be just nice to, get people talking about this. So thank you very much for watching this video. I actually didn't drink any of my coffee, but see you at the next video, and have a nice time.